What is going on, everybody? JoJo from the Wicked Arcade here. I just wanted to make a quick video here on this Arcade1up Mortal Kombat cabinet that I just recently picked up. Now this here is the XL version of the cabinet. Of course, it does have the online feature, which is the main reason why I bought this. So lately I've been doing a lot of live streams with the basically playing my cabinets live while talking to subscribers and new viewers, and a lot of them were saying that they wanted to play games up against me. A lot of them want to do Fightcade, which I'm getting all that set up, and then some of them were saying that they had the 1UP XL version. So I said, the hell with it, go ahead and pick me up one. I actually found this one for a relatively good deal. I got this one here for a whopping $250. Pretty good considering that these go for, I believe, 400 plus, maybe even more. So of course this is my first Arcade1up, so I kind of wanted to go over it and check out all the goods that it had that it has to offer, and of course all of the bads. So one of the main things that I noticed first, of course, is these very clicky, wonky joysticks that are completely horrible. Also, the buttons don't click, but we're not comparing apples to apples when it comes to the OG cabinets. And I know some of y'all are probably wondering, where are your MK1 and MK2 cabinet? I got some really cool news. Recently got them autographed by the actors. They're still sitting here in the front of the garage because I have not been able to put them back in their place because I have a couple of things going on. So we have Raiden, Liz Malaki, Anthony Marquez did sign it. Of course, he's not an MK1, long story. And then also we have here Ho-Sun Pack. And then I do have my marquee sign, but that's for another episode on the Combat Dads podcast. So first things first, what we're gonna do with this, because of those joysticks, is I ordered some brand new HAP joysticks from Tornado Terry, so that way we can go ahead and get those installed in there. So let's go ahead and try it. Some gameplay with the, there goes the bag. Let's go ahead and try it with the original joysticks that are here in the XL 1UP cabinet, and then we'll get the new buttons and joysticks installed, and I'll also do a comparison. So here we go. All right, so we do have the cabinet on. It is set up, and I just realized that it has MK3, which is a huge plus. That is super cool. I'm not too familiar with 1UP, so I don't know if they had MK3 in the other cabinets, but that is super cool that it does have it on this one. So let's see, we'll turn up the volume. We'll also be able to check out the sound on this bad boy. So just going off of the actual 1UP speakers here, it does sound okay. It doesn't sound horrible. It doesn't sound crackly. All the way up to 15. It actually sounds relatively good. So let's hit start. There we go. So what I do notice is that these ball tops here, they do unthread relatively easy. So now this one here, I didn't have to build it. It already came built, which was another plus. So we'll just do a quick test run. Not looking to do a full playthrough on this yet. Just want to mainly focus on testing out the buttons. Yeah, this joystick is horrible. When it just completely tries to unthread. So from what I can tell, the joysticks are just horrible. very horrible. The buttons feel like they have a little bit of lag on them. And of course it is very pixelated, but of course it is running this LCD screen versus an original CRT like I'm used to. So I guess in Mortal Kombat 3 you can't jump into them with a combo. Completely missed them there. Alright, so let's go ahead and install the new joysticks and let's see if we can tell a difference. So now from what I can see, it seems like we just got 4 screws. We got one here, here, and here. So let's go ahead and take these screws out so that way we can see what exactly is under this panel here. So now that we have those 4 screws out, let's go ahead and flip this control panel over and let's see what we have under it. Oh, so I do see a ribbon cable. So let's take off that ribbon cable and see what we have here. Oh, okay. So it seems that we have a cover that is hiding all of the connectors. So let's go ahead and get all of those screws out so that way we can see what's hidden under. So now that all the screws are out, let's go ahead and take this box off and see what's hidden under. Okay, so it seems relatively easy, pretty cut to the chase. It looks like each button has a, okay, so they are color coordinated. So it's nice that they do have the black for the ground, red for the actual button for it too. So yeah, it looks like adding these joysticks and buttons from these HAPs are going to be pretty easy. So let's go ahead and start taking off all of these connectors and go ahead and get ready to start putting in the new set. So now going over a couple of things as I took a closer look here under the control panel is that earlier I did say that it did have where it was ground and your action, but it seems like it's not like that for all of them. So here on the block, both are white. Here on low punch, both are gray. Here on high punch, both are purple. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and figure out which is my ground, which one's my action. On player 1, start, it's good. But when you get over here to the other side, it's kind of confusing. So I'm gonna go over everything. I'm not too worried about the joystick area. Excuse the going out of focus, is because here on these micro switches, usually your bottom one here is always your ground. So we'll know that that one will follow it. And I'm going to actually mark all of my grounds once I figure out which ones they are here with the Sharpie, so that way nothing gets confused. So let's go ahead and start getting everything marked and I'll come back in just a second. Okay, so after going through all of the buttons and figuring out which is ground and which one is the action button, so here on the top, it seems that the top is going to be the ground, and here on the bottom row, the bottom wire is going to be your ground, and that's through the whole circuit. So I went ahead and made me a quick list. So if anybody else is going to do this, you can go ahead and screenshot this, and that will go ahead and so you won't be confused whenever you do decide, if you decide to go ahead and change out those joysticks and buttons. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff cut out so that way we can start installing the new stuff. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is that, so that way it looks like there is enough slack on all this wiring, which is pretty nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip them as close as I can to that micro switch, and then I'm going to zip tie all of the joystick wires together, and then I'll also zip tie all of the regular buttons together and go from there. All right, so we successfully have the start button installed, and let me tell you, it feels completely better compared to these. I just feel you get that nice click versus. So let me go ahead and get the rest of these changed out, and then we'll go from there. And there it is, we are all done. I am not gonna lie, this was kind of a pain in the butt because of course I did have to follow my little cheat sheet that I made here. So let's go ahead and stick this back in the 1UP and go ahead and test out those buttons. All right, so the control panel is back on the 1UP, so let's go ahead and power the 1UP back on so that way we can test all these buttons. So let's go ahead and turn on the cabinet. So I wasn't gonna bolt it down yet until we find out if all of the buttons and joysticks are working the way they should. But this control panel just kept sliding off, so I did put one in here for the meantime. And ooh, that's loud. Pretty cool little intro. All right, so here we go. So let's see if down works. It does. Now let's see if up works. It does. Okay, so let's go back to Mortal Kombat 3. And then what we'll do is we'll start a game, a 2-player game, so that way we can test both sets of joysticks and also both sets of buttons. So obviously start works. Up, down, left, right is working. Same thing with player 2. All right, so let's test high punch, high kick, low kick, low punch, block, and run. Seems to be working on both. Oh wow, it's night and day. Yeah, the controls definitely feel a whole lot better. Definitely feels more traditional now. So the only thing that's unfortunate about this control panel is, of course, on a regular cabinet, you do have the metal over it, the metal panel over the wood panel. So here, of course, the dust washers will have to be exposed. It's not a big deal for me. I'm not going to be playing this cabinet all the time. Like I said, I bought this one strictly to play with friends online while we do some live streams. So, but it does feel amazing. You can tell a huge difference in it. So a couple of things that I got to do is, whenever the guy took off the plastic, I'm guessing that was over the monitor, he left the screws in, and you can see that there is some plastic around there. So I must say it does make a huge difference. So anybody who does get one of these 1UPs, I would definitely recommend changing out those joysticks and buttons because it's a night and day difference, 100%. So my overall review for the cabinet, I do think it is cool for what it is. It's not something that's for me to be playing all the time because of course I am used to the original cabinets, and it looks hilariously small next to the originals. But it does have a lot of things going for it. I do think it's really cool that it does have a light up marquee, especially the upgrade with adding the new joysticks and buttons. And it is pretty sad that this coin door doesn't work. It is there for aesthetics. Buttons don't push, you can't add coins. No coins reject or anything like that. The lock, completely fake. It is funny, I do think it's cute. But like I said, overall, I do believe that, of course, if you don't have the room to get a real cabinet, one of these are pretty cool. I'm kind of late into the game on this 1-ups, so I'm sure that my review on it doesn't really matter. But like I said, for me as being a collector of original cabinets, I do think that this is cool for what it is. But of course, I'm not the target market because I collect originals. But like I said, if you don't have the room for an original cabinet, this is really cool. You can play it online with friends. I did sign up, so if anybody wants to run some matches with me on Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, and Ultimate, you can look me up under the Wicked Arcade. Other than that, it's pretty much the end of this video. I appreciate you for watching. If you can, give me a like. Also, consider subscribing. And until the next one, y'all take care and be easy.